When the only constant in life is change, you need to be ready. This is the Man-Made Survival Show.
Wars, and rumors of wars. All right, a lot of things are going on all around the world. All right, and what I'm, specifically talking about right now is China and India. I have talked about this subject in the past few videos, but more information has come out, and things can potentially get out of hand. And let's remember that both of those countries are nuclear armed, and their border are right next to each other. It would be like the United States and Canada going to war. The ICBMs wouldn't have to fly very far. All right, so that is the reason why you must be prepared, because we don't know when a war may break out. Right? We don't know if suddenly you're gonna get a message to your phone, like the video of that lady in Hawaii who received it and she had no idea what to do. Hopefully that never happens to you. Hopefully you do know what to do. Exactly, like the instant you see the message, you know exactly how to react and where to go. All right? I'm hoping that through this channel you'll be able to learn that. Okay? But before I go any further and I get into what I want to talk about today, I want to remind you about the store that we just opened. It's manmadesurvivalstore.com. manmadesurvivalstore.com. Or just click the link below. In there, you're going to find this beauty in there. Right? And all sorts of other things. This is from the 4th of July box that we're promoting, the Liberty box. And this could be a perfect gift, to yourself or for a spouse that loves America as much as you do and I do. And this knife is from Smith & Wesson, and it has the Men-Made Survival name on it with our mission statement to remind you to be always ready. All right, it has the American flag and Lady Liberty there, and it's really cool to carry this around in your pocket. All right, we also have all sorts of other survival gear on there, and I want to remind you that when you make a purchase through the store, you're helping us, or you're the reason that we can help homeless people to be able to get stuff that they need, such as another backpack or winter clothing and meals and stuff like that, through Christian organizations, or for us walking in the streets and helping those homeless people. And also, I do believe God has put this in my heart to where I want to help the orphanages, because what's going to happen to all those children if a war breaks out, like we're going to be talking about today? What is going to happen to all of them? What are the people who are now in charge of those kids? What are they going to do? And I don't think that's something that a lot of people has addressed over the years, at least not the way that I'm doing it, through survival. So we need your help. And the best way for you to help is to make a purchase through there. And we will let you know when we help people, when we have the ability, the funds to be able, the finances to be able to help the children and the homeless people. And that way you can rest assured that what I'm telling you, it's, my word, that I do want to do those things, that I am going to do those things. All right, but we need your help in order to be able to do that. All right. So let's get into what I want to talk about today. So I want to make it a little bit humorous, because there's just a lot of serious things going on. So pretty much the video that I'm about to play, it's India and China. Here it is.
What's up now, you pretty punk chick? Yeah. Hey, what's up? We got a problem, Toothpick? I said, do we have a problem? Oh, we got a problem, boy. Right here. Here's your problem. Right there. Right there. All right. Yeah. All right. Play a little game, baby. Right here. I said, do we have a problem? Huh? Oh, USSR. Now you better get your stank asses up out of here before I cause a nuclear holocaust up in here, fool. Let's go. Oh, come on now. A little bit Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh, let's go. That's right, boy. You better get on out of here. And don't come back.
All right, so hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it made you laugh. That was the purpose of playing that video. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, that's China and India right now. Okay, the bad thing is that they have nukes. So here's my first headline on how things have escalated. Indian troops giving fire-at-will orders against Chinese troops if threatened. Enraging Beijing. This from Zero Hedge. Beijing is enraged over current widespread Indian media reports that the Indian army has been given orders to shoot or use complete freedom of action in hostile engagement with Chinese PLA forces along the disputed Ladakh border region. The reports come following last week's major border incident with China that resulted in 20 Indian Army troops killed and an undisclosed number of Chinese PLA casualties in the disputed Galwan Valley area of East Ladakh. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Chinese state media Global Times editor Hu Xijin called out the reporter, saying that if the new rules of engagement are true, it's a serious violation of prior treaties implemented for the escalation. All right, so I don't know what it's going through the president, prime minister, whatever the title is for the president of India. Is he just really tired of dealing with China? Because it's not the first time. It's been happening over the years, but this is the first time we got to this magnitude, or to this level. So is he just saying, whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. And let's just go to war? I mean, maybe. It seems that way. They're giving the go-ahead, if instead of fighting and using clubs and bats and nails or whatever they were using, hand-to-hand combat, go ahead and shoot them, I mean, to me, it was, I guess, honorable that they were face-fighting it out, and it didn't really go beyond that, which even though now it seems that way, it's going that direction. But now they're going to be using the technological advances they have. And both of the countries have good technology, They pretty much go toe-to-toe. I mean, I'm thinking that China would win in a fight if nobody else got in it. I'm thinking, They both have about the same amount of people, over 1 billion people each. So even if both populations started to cross each other's borders, it would pretty much be 1-to-1, instead of 1 for every 10. No, it would pretty much be 1-to-1. The population numbers are very close together, over 1 billion each. And they both have technological advances as well, and they have pretty good training. They spend pretty good bit of money. I mean, I believe China spends more money, and they might be a little bit better trained, have a little bit better technology, since India has asked for 33 of our fighters, of our our airplanes. So we'll see how that goes. See if it escalates out of control. Now, my next headline is a warning from China. China warns India, if fired upon, our troops are prepared for war. This from Zero Hedge. Although complete freedom of action is the Modi administration's apparent appeasement to the India army and public opinion, it is extremely irresponsible. We would like to warn India's feverish nationalists not to lead New Delhi down the wrong path and not allow India to repeat past mistakes. Quote, we would like to tell PLA soldiers stationed at the China-India border that they must be extra careful when fulfilling their duties and to be well prepared for war, end quote. All right? So, like I've said in the past with Chaz and the chop zone and everything, right now is the best time for us to take data on how China reacts, how China moves assets, what are the first things that they're going to use, how the soldiers react, how the soldiers are trained. Because I do believe that we do have the threat of Red Dawn invasion. If you ever seen the movie, I encourage you to watch it. The first one was about China. The second one was North Korea. Either way, they both are communist countries. And if they were successful to invade the United States, we will need to know how the soldiers fight. Okay? Because it is my belief that they would deploy an EMP over the United States, and then they would get their systems in here, and then they would start trying to conquer the rest of the United States. Of course, if they get that deep into the United States, it's going to be a lot more difficult for our fighters and our soldiers and our military to be able to fight them off as if they were on the other side of the world, okay? We haven't really had a foreign country fight us at our own doorstep. We've always been on the other side, but they've never been on our side. So that would be a new one for the United States to deal with, not just the government, but the citizens as well. So you must be ready for that type of fight. Now, meanwhile, all this is going on. Here's my next headline. North Korea reportedly threatens new round of the Korean War to end U.S. This from NewYorkPost.com or NYPost.com. North Korea embassy in Moscow has threatened to use its nation's nuclear weapons against the United States in what they claim would be, quote, a particular sensational event, end quote, a Russian state-owned news agency report. The agency quoted embassy as stating, quote, this year, the United States military has been carrying out various kinds of military maneuvers in South Korea and its vicinity with the purpose of striking North Korea quickly, end quote. Quote, a new round of the Korean War will add a particular sensational event to the history of mankind, which will put the end to another empire, whose name is the United States, end quote. It continues. All right, so of course, again, Kim Jong-un is coming out and say a bunch of stuff. Will he ever deliver? I don't know. Is he a serious threat? Yes, he is, because he can get an ICBM to our shores, at least to Hawaii, as we experienced at the beginning of January. January 2018, excuse me. So, and also, North Korea possesses EMP weapons that would devastate us very, very much. All right? So, is North Korea a real threat? Yes, they are. Is there something that we should really put in our priority list? Probably not at this moment. I would say that China and India going at it is more important than North Korea threatening this again. Okay, because could we destroy North Korea very quickly? Yes, we could, but they would have the backing of China, which then we wouldn't be able to do very quickly or, precisely. That's why when we were having the whole ordeal a few years back with Trump and North Korea, Beijing was pretty much saying, don't mess too much with North Korea. So anyways, what you can do to prepare for this, okay? If China and India go to war, they are going to get their allies. And India's ally is the United States, okay? Because we have treaties with them. We have, we're trying to divert from using Chinese goods to producing some things in India, okay? So our interest would be that we have to make sure that India is not destroyed, because we would depend on things like medicines and other things from India, because we were trying to shift away from China, as we've seen what the pandemic has done, okay? And that, of course, would turn into dragging soldiers to India to fight the Chinese. And if it gets out of hand to where Russia has to help China, then more than likely I would see very quickly a draft in the United States, because Russia and China together, they are a very strong enemy to deal with. So there would be a draft, and then NATO, of course, will get involved, since either way, China and Russia are in the crosshairs of NATO. So, NATO would jump in very quickly. And not only that, we also have to remember that Turkey and Israel are having issues, and North Korea with South Korea are having issues. So again, like I've said in the past, we'll be spread too thin, and we'll have to choose who we're going to help, all right? Maybe the cabinet members are going to tell, Israel to cool it, or tell South Korea to cool it, or tell India to cool it, because we cannot be spread so thin, okay? So anyways, be prepared for war. You need to go ahead and have your food, your water, your guns and ammo ready, your communications ready, your bug out bag ready. You have to have your bug out vehicle ready, all right? And you have to be able to withstand an EMP, because it is in China's doctrine to use EMPs. It is in North Korea's doctrine to use EMPs. All right, and if we get hit with any one of those, you can pretty much say that you're back in the 1800s, you know, except you have no horse or no carriage. So you have that's the things that you have to be prepared. Now, if you're not a beginner, let's say you are intermediate or advanced prepper, you have to, in intermediate, you have to make sure that you find the holes in your plan, right? And get more than 2 years worth of food and water, and get more ammo, right? And train your friends and family how to use the ham radio, okay? And have your alliances take more training. If you're an advanced prepper, okay, of course you need to do the same things and be ready for them. And if you can, then you need to make your group bigger, and you need to stack up on more ammo and more things, you know, because more is always better. You can withstand, because if we have an EMP in the United States, it would take more than 18 months to get the power stored. And you can bet that if we're at war against China, we're not getting anything from them. So we will have to find out where we will get it from. And not only that, they will get the major cities first, and then the rural area. So if you're in the rural area, you can bet your bottom dollar that you would be living pretty much without a power grid for more than 2 years. You know, that's of course if we don't have an invasion at that point. But let's say that we didn't. It was just an EMP, and then that's that. Then you have to worry about social unrest, and you won't have any power for more than 2 years. That's why you must be ready. You have to look at it for every angle. All right, but anyways, that's where I'm going to leave things today. Please share this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this information with your friends and family, because as always, all this information is very, very important. And one more time, I want to remind you about the store. It's the Man Survival Store, where you can get this beauty right here. And we'll send it to you right away as soon as you order. All right, again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for making a purchase. And remember, always ready.
The Man-Made Survival Show.